Hello, YouTube friend. Wendell Ransom here, your certified nurse midwife, and you are welcome to episode 2 of Family Planning on the Pregnancy Through the Bible series. And for a brief recap, last episode we actually established the fact that family planning is not a woman's thing because it was first performed by a man. All right, established from Genesis chapter 38, verse 9, we saw that a man was the first to perform the act of family planning millennia before family planning methods were ever instituted in the early 2000s. All right, and after we established that point, we said that we were going to be looking next at coitus interruptus and what it is. Now, coitus interruptus is a family planning method, but don't you think with me that it's important that we look at what family planning is and then we can delve into its methods, right? Okay, so we are going to be looking in this episode at what family planning is and the relevance of family planning, because so many of you have been asking, okay, yeah, family planning, you've heard about it, its recommendations all over the place, but you're asking yourself, why family planning? Because I have been born, my parents are alive, probably alive right now, and you have children, you've had children, and all without family planning, probably, or you never knew that you implemented family planning. So what we're going to do is establish the relevance, and some of you will see that you have actually implemented family planning, especially the men, without knowing. So join me after the break to look at family planning and its relevance, and we are going to be painting 4 great importance, not an exhaustive list, but 4 great points highlighting the importance of family planning, why you should consider family planning. You're welcome back from the break, and thank you for staying tuned. So straight away, family planning is an opportunity to make an informed decision about the number of children to have and the time spacing between each. The number of children to have and the time spacing between each using family planning methods. Now, it's important to note that whenever a couple or an individual walk into a family planning counseling session, whatever resolutions are made with regards to that couple or that individual is tailored to that individual's need or that couple's need. I'm saying this so that if someone walks out of a family planning counseling session and tells you this is what we resolved at, you don't just copy and paste because you thought that this is the advice that was given for this reason. All right, there's a lot of things that are put together, considerations made before a resolution is arrived at. So it's not a copy and paste something, it is tailored to that individual's need. So why is it important to employ family planning methods as an individual or as a couple regarding your pregnancy journey? Stay with me through these 4 points because you don't want to miss any of them. Each of them well seasoned. Childbearing, the whole process of childbearing is very demanding on the woman and sometimes life-threatening. Now, if you've been ill consistently for a single day, it might not matter what the illness is, but you are consistently ill for a single day, you will bear with me that that day seems longer than 24 hours. And then imagine being ill for a week and then more than just a week continuously. Now, I'm not saying that a pregnant woman is ill, but she is immune compromised, meaning that her immunity is suppressed or her resistance to infection and disease is suppressed because of her pregnancy, and she has to battle with various illness within that 9 months. Again, it is not 9 days, it is 9 months of fighting various illnesses, and possible diseases. And not just that, she has hormonal differences and imbalances that cause shifts in mood and the like. And she sails through this turbulent 9 months to a point known as labor before delivery. And labor beats out of her whatever she had left after the 9 months period, and she gets into childbearing. Now, childbearing has just a very fine line that divides life from death, and any form of negligence on the part of the professionals or the woman or any person participating in the team, the childbearing team, can lead to detrimental and even fatal consequences, especially on the woman, because we are looking at the woman here. And any man who has been part of the childbearing process from labor would assert with me that you don't want your wife going through that too frequently than not. You want her to be restored, you want her to rest and regain her steel and composure and self as a person before she ever gets back into this very demanding and draining moment. So family planning affords you an opportunity to have that time of restoration in your whole self. When I talk about your whole self, I mean your holistic self, mentally, all right, emotionally. You want to get back, you want to get restored physically. In your whole self, you want time to be restored, and family planning affords you the opportunity to be back to normal before you engage in another very turbulent moment of childbearing. Now, after birth, family planning does not just provide the woman with enough time to recover and bond with her child, but it also provides her protection from pregnancy. Now, let's establish something. Family planning enables that child to be nurtured, and built properly within the first 1,000 days of life, the first 2 years of life, which is elementary or elemental to the build-up of this child. And this is where the foundation laying of this child closes, the first 2 years of life. The laying of the foundation for this child begins pre-conception, spans out throughout pregnancy, and then ends within the first 2 years of life. So that is the process, or that is the period within which the foundation of this child is laid. The reason why I say so is because after this period of life, pre-conception, pregnancy, and first 2 years of life, everything beyond that you do builds on this foundation. There is little change you can do to what you effect in the life of a human being after this period of life. But more than just building up this child adequately, there is bonding that happens with this child within that period of time. And if this child is not let to bond well enough with his or her parents, it makes this child deficient in many things that the child would need to become a whole human being. The child might be lacking in affection, the child might be lacking in belonging, the child might be lacking in build up and nurture and well structuring, so that he or she is a problem to the family at that little age, or rises up to be a problem to the society at large. In fact, know that the family is the basic unit of the society, and whenever the children are at fault in their training, this does not affect only the society, the family at that young age. It later on affects the society as these children grow and become an ill impact or a negative impact on the community at various levels and various categories. So their spheres of influence are affected by the kind of people they are as a result of how they were brought up from after birth. But here is the crucial point. Whenever a family agrees to do exclusive breastfeeding from birth till at least 6 months, and when I talk about exclusive breastfeeding, I mean breastfeeding the child every 2 to 3 hours sufficiently. All right. Whenever a family agrees to do exclusive breastfeeding, full breastfeeding for about at least 6 months, you can go beyond. All right. You can actually add other things to the baby's feeding while breastfeeding till 2 years, because that time period is very, very crucial for the building of about 80% of the child's brain. But whenever the family does that for the first 6 months, exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months, they have afforded themselves a natural family planning method known as lactational amenorrhea, which is 97% effective, protecting you from a pregnancy on its own without the assistance of any other contraceptive device or method. All right, without the assistance of abstinence, a natural family planning method, without the assistance of barrier methods like a condom or a femindom, you have 97% protection from a pregnancy. And this allows you time enough to nurture this child and bring this child up rightly to be a moral influence in his society rather than an immoral influence in his or her community in the long run. But what is sad is that many families rather relegate this very, very crucial moment, the closing up of the foundation laying of this individual. They leave it to a maid to bond with this child and to look after this child, and they have lost a very crucial bonding moment that was supposed to link up the child and his parents. Now that is given to the child and the maid, and it is said that the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. You might have heard the third point being echoed in the second point, and this is it. Family planning facilitates the building of a healthy community. Have you seen a community that is plagued with so many social ills on various levels, right from the young children of the society or the community, right to the politicians and those who have a say in that community? The reason why there is that level of social ill in any community, any given community, is because the foundational period of building for that child from birth, it actually began before conception and spanned through pregnancy and then the first 2 years of life. But then training continues for that child, and whenever training is missed out on, that child is prepared to be a ticking time bomb that can explode at any given time, because that child lacks affection, bonding, and proper training to be a positive and a moral impact in his or her society, to himself or herself, to his family, to his friends, neighbors, and then to the community at large. And so family planning affords this opportunity to properly train a child before you have the next child. If you are planning to have many more or even one more after that one, you have enough time to raise this child before the next one comes. Because believe you me, when the next child comes knocking, just the preconception symptoms take the affection and the attention consciously or unconsciously away from that other child to the new child that is being developed at the point. Both for you as the woman and your partner, your attention shifted considerably to the other child. And it has been said jokingly that some children would turn to their younger siblings and tell them that you stole the affection and the attention of my parents from me. Well, if that has a founding, this might be one of the reasons that the time that was supposed to be allocated to that child, to nurture that child to be a responsible and independent human, was not properly or totally given. Family planning affords you double protection. Double protection. What do we mean by that? Family planning not only stops you from getting a pregnancy at a time you don't want to be pregnant, it also protects you from sexually transmittable diseases. And we are looking at diseases like HIV, gonorrhea, syphilis, herpes. There are certain family planning methods that actually barrier these diseases from being transmitted from an infected partner. Now, you might have married your partner when he or she had already contracted these diseases. There is no reason for you to contract these diseases as well, because there are family planning methods that offer protection against this. And which are these methods? That is exactly what we'll be looking at in the next presentation, in the next episode, But isn't it amazing that family planning method, a natural family planning method, lactational amenorrhea, offers you up to 97% protection against a pregnancy, and that does not require that you abstain from sex, because offering you at least 97% protection means that out of 100 women that do exclusive breastfeeding for at least 6 months, which is required for every breastfeeding woman, just about 3 women can get pregnant from just doing lactation amenorrhea. And lactation amenorrhea means that within the period of exclusive breastfeeding, at least 6 months, you don't menstruate. And if you don't have your cycle, you can't get pregnant. Within that period of time, you have 97% protection, and you can still enjoy sexual intercourse or intimacy with your partner, all right? Because just 3 out of 100 women were found out in a study to get pregnant, all right, having relied solely on lactation amenorrhea. So just imagine that you used another method on that, which would just be an addition, all right, just an addition to try to cover the 3%. But how possible is it that you are, possible, can be one of the 3 out of the 100 women. Very rarely, but if there is that possibility, you can consider coupling up with another method, which we are going to be looking at in the next presentation, which you can't afford to miss. So thank you for staying through. Thank you very much for staying tuned. And if you have any remarks, anything you enjoyed from our session and the presentation, please let us know in the comment section. Anything you deem necessary that we work upon to better our feeds, please let us know in the comment section so that we can become better and better in providing you transformative content. So thank you, and see you in the next episode.